Hi, I'm Michael Wan. Thanks for watching us today. Trump's approval rating rises. That is the subject of today's op-ed. So things are looking really well for the President Trump. For the president. Trump's approval rating has reached 52%, according to Rasmussen poll released Monday. It was his highest level since shortly after his inauguration in 2017. The Rasmussen Daily Presidential Tracking Poll showed 47% of likely United States voters disapprove of his job performance. This is certainly good news for the president. It seems that the State of the Union speech helped his approval rating. Trump's approval rating was at 55% just days after he was sworn in as president on January 20th of 2017. The president touted the results in a tweet that included an image of the Drudge Report's webpage headline, as you can see it right over here. And it said this: Trump, 52% approval jolts Washington, best in years. His marks have been on the rise since his State of the Union address last Tuesday, and in the wake of the 35-day partial government shutdown over border security and his demand for $5.7 billion in funding for a border wall. The Rasmussen poll shows Trump's approval rating was at 46% the day the government shut down on December 22nd and fell to 43% on January 14th. Well, the border shutdown, I think it actually helped President Trump. That's why the his approval rating went all the way up to 52%. And can you imagine if all the mainstream media, if they reported properly, honestly, I really believe that his approval rating would have been around 70%, over 60% at least. But because of mainstream media, and there are so many Americans still rely upon the mainstream media like the NYT and WAPO and CNN, that's why his approval rating, even though he has done tremendous job, I believe that he is a transformational president. Even though he has achieved so much for the past 2 years, his approval rating is still just around 50%. It's just hovering around that range. And other poll numbers from Washington Post, ABC News, those are complete fake news. They fabricate the sampling. They put so many Democrats on their poll, but they put little Republicans. So of course, the approval rating for that poll number would always come out very low. So I believe Trump is doing well. If he keeps on this level, if he keeps this approval rating going on, hovering around 50%, I think he will definitely win re-election come 2020. And I think he has the edge right now. Even last year's election, the mainstream media focuses on Trump losing the House. Yeah, losing the House was bad for Trump, but still he gained seats on the Senate side. So to me, it was a partial win for Trump. He didn't lose both houses like Obama did. So I think Trump is riding high. The mainstream media tried to bash him down with the shutdown, but actually I believe the shutdown helped him get more popularity. I think it satisfied his base, the people who voted him, who stuck behind him since 2015 when he first announced his presidential campaign. And I think they were really happy because they wanted a wall. They want a wall. And they want Trump to fight for it. And that's what he exactly did. He fought for it. He went for the shutdown. I think there's another shutdown looming, but Trump said just moments ago that he's not going to let that one happen. So I think they will probably reach a deal. It seems both Republicans and Democrats has agreed in principle with a new budget deal. It only contained $1.3 billion of the border wall fee. Trump wanted $5.7 billion. So there's a huge disparity there. But what I believe is I think Donald Trump will get that money, the money that he needs to secure the border wall, by announcing national emergency. I think he still has that card. He still has something up under his sleeve. So I think he's going to use that card, and I believe that he will finish that border wall. It was his campaign promise. Other than make America great again and drain the swamp, I think build that wall was one of his trademark slogans. So Trump is really focused on that. He's zeroing in. so that he can achieve that goal. And I believe that he will. I believe that he will. And I think he purposely kind of waited the first 2 years about this wall thing. I think he strategically planned his term that way so that he can, so that like next year, that he can come back and bring that message and tell the people, tell to the American people, hey, I promised a wall and it's building. And you have to re-elect me to make this happen all the way through. Because he wants the border wall, other than, like for instance, some natural barriers, he wants to fill it all up with a wall. And of course, definitely we need that to protect the country from illegal aliens, from these dangerous illegal aliens. I'm not saying all of them are dangerous, but it is not a good thing for illegal aliens to cross no matter what, right? It's not a positive thing for the country. They need to have papers. They need to go through a process like other people, other legal residents here. It's just common sense. And the Democrats and the mainstream media, it seems like they're so against this common sense. They became a lunatic party. And these mainstream media, they became lunatic news agencies too. They just show these data that, oh, illegal aliens commit less crime. How do they know illegal aliens commit less crime than American citizens when they don't even know the exact number of illegal aliens crossing the country, crossing over here? They don't even have that number. It doesn't make sense. To me, it seems like overwhelming amount of illegal aliens commit crime. Why? If you look at the federal prison, 25% of them are illegal aliens. So just add the number. So what the mainstream media, what they're trying to say, it's fake news. It does not make sense when they say illegal aliens commit less crime. Like people like from Fox News, Rivera, Geraldo Rivera. I think he always seemed to be on the side of illegal aliens. I just don't understand that. I just don't understand it. Of course, I do think there needs to be a pathway to legalize the illegal immigrants here who has been abiding the law, other than breaking the law when they cross the border. I think there should be some kind of way. I mean, they've been living here for decades, and I think for the Dreamers, I think there should be a way. There should be a pathway for them to be legalized here. If not citizenship, then probably green card, at least. I don't know. I mean, if not green card, some kind of legal permanent status. I mean, it's such a huge mess that this immigration issue has been going on and on and on, and nobody has been solving this. I mean, I think the problem did ignite from the Reagan administration when he did that amnesty thing. I think that kind of created some motivation from people outside America to come over here. Because if he did the amnesty thing, why not other president? They would, of course, I would think that way. If I'm living in a country that's heinous, I would try to escape that country and come over here too as well, So I think that set a bad precedent, but I mean, it is what it is. And Trump is trying to solve this. I believe that Trump is a transformational president. He's doing his best right now. We don't know whether he can finish, whether he can accomplish his campaign promises, all of it, before 2020. But I believe that he is doing his best. And according to one study, I think he accomplished more than 80% of his campaign promises. So that in itself is just amazing. We move on to our next topic. So Trump today called on Omar to resign over remarks condemned as anti-Semitic. This is what Donald Trump said. I think she should either resign from Congress or she should certainly resign from the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Omar apologized on Monday for suggesting that United States support for a Jewish state is a result of money flowing from the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. AIPAC is an influential pro-Israel lobbying group. The comments were quickly condemned by Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other Democratic leaders. Trump said Omar's comments are deep-seated in her heart and called her apology lame. And Trump said that Omar ought to be ashamed of herself. Of course, that's anti-Semitic. It's just uncalled for. I think I don't know whether she should resign over it, but she should definitely be ashamed of herself for saying such an anti-Semitic thing. So Omar prompted criticism from members of both major parties on Sunday evening when she retweeted journalist Glenn Greenwald's response to a story about House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy promising action toward the Minnesota lawmaker over her alleged anti-Semitism. She captioned that retweet with a message, "It's all about the Benjamin's baby," referring to money. The comments were quickly condemned by Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other Democratic leaders who called her use of anti-Semitic tropes deeply offensive. Republican lawmakers had seized on Omar's tweets, with McCarthy and others urging Democrats to speak out against the freshman lawyer. Well, that's our show for today. Our show is not about left or right. It's about being right or wrong. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.